I'm live, guys.
Look at this.
Lucy, you can't even see her because she's laying down. Are you sitting on the table with your dad?
One way to do it.
Trip.
I'm live, guys.
Look at this. Are we on?
Oh, yeah.
We're on.
We're on. We're live. Is everybody, how many, you got people
Hold
coming?
on.
Oh, okay, let's get down here.
We're on.
Okay.
There we go.
Okie dokie. There we go.
Oh, Michael's the first one.
Who's?
Michael Rukalis.
Oh, Michael. I just got off the phone with him earlier. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. The big dog is out chasing balls in the house.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. And now he's pulling off Lucy's hat. Okay, everybody. Who's in here? Michael, Walter Brown. Who else? Koyat. How you doing, Koyat, man? Mr. Escobar is on the phone, or on the call, rather. So let's see, we got a few people coming on. Legacy Rideshare. William, how you doing, buddy? You're killing it down in Miami. Signed up 5 restaurants the other day.
Nice. That'll be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Shannon calls up and she says, what's going on down in Florida? I said, I don't know, maybe it's Paul and his group going to work. Oh, I would send it to you, I guess. And it was Shannon wanted to know what's going on down in Florida. And then Amy said, no, there's nothing going on except William's cleaning up. He's opening restaurants. So that's good. He tried to take her hat off.
I know.
See who else is on. Leonard. How you doing, Leonard? I'm supposed to call you today. I just got jammed up with a bunch of stuff. So I'll call you in the morning. Leonard's got a ghost warehouse down in Florida for us also,
Nice.
Besides all the other ghost warehouses. Guy's amazing. Okay, 6:03, 6:04. Let's wait a few more minutes. Doesn't look like probably going to have a big crowd tonight, but we want to go over a couple of things, just a little bit of a training that we've got, and then also want to go over a promotion that we're doing that's starting tonight. And Tony will go through that with you guys. Leonard doing great. Lloyd Ferguson, let's rock and roll. Eros is on. How you doing? Hola, ¿cómo estás? So my Spanish is getting better, right, Eros? So you want to, what time is it? 6:04. Just wait one more minute and then we'll get started.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we got some fun stuff we're going to talk about, tell you guys tonight that Tony and I have been working on the last couple of 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days on.
Yep.
Get it knocked out, but we finally got, or I should say, he finally got it all done tonight, which was great.
I needed you to sign off on everything.
Well, yeah, that's easy. That's what you did. But it's going to bring us a lot of stores over a pretty short period of time. Or excuse me, a lot of restaurants over a short period of time. I keep calling restaurants stores because my mentality is retail, and it's just, to me, they're all stores.
Yeah. They all deal in the green, so bring us all money. So that's.
Hello from Sarasota. I love Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah, I lived down in Bradenton for a while. So.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it's nice.
It's
Nice living down there. Mr. C's Deliveries. Yeah, he's Vegas. We're starting to make some inroads. Darius is making some pretty good moves here, getting a bunch of stuff going. And then I think I told you the Indian restaurant we signed up. So he knows a lot of restaurants. So he's going to help us open restaurants too. Really, really nice guy.
Good way to do it.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. Tony, why don't you jump into it and we'll go from
Sounds
here.
good, everybody. Well, welcome to our training call. We've got some really good information we're going to be covering this evening. I'm going to run through a little bit of a training, and then we're going to share the promotion that Bob signed off on for all of us, and we chatted a little bit about, and it's I'll just tell you, it's early Christmas for everybody that's coming starting tonight. So it's definitely something I'm really excited about. And I know everyone that's on this webinar is going to be excited. Everybody who watches the recording is going to be excited. And it's going to be a really good run here for the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. We're going to have some amazing opportunities at our fingertips. So I'll share my screen here real quick and kind of run through a little bit of kind of a recruiting mindset training. And, really what we want to focus on as we close out 2020 and move into 2021 is helping to create leverage in our business. And obviously, when you can create leverage, you can create wealth within your family and potentially generational wealth for all of your family as you start to create leverage and residual income. And the mindset that it takes to do that is a little different than a traditional kind of employee mindset. You've got to think more like a CEO. You've got to think more like an entrepreneur. And when you're out recruiting, I always tell people, as we're going out to get restaurants, as we're going out to acquire drivers, or we're looking to build our team of marketers, professionals sort, amateurs spend time selling and convincing. So a lot of new people will try and convince a restaurant to come on board with the Trip Delivers family. They'll try and convince a marketer, somebody to sign up as a marketer. And the bottom line is a professional understands that there's literally in most of our cities that we're dealing with thousands and thousands of restaurants that are out there making food. And so if one restaurant decides that they don't want to do delivery with anybody, you move on to the next restaurant. If someone decides they don't want to be a marketer, there's literally 300 plus million people here in the United States. And there's so many people right now that are looking for ways to make extra income. You don't need to sell people on the fact that they should make extra money. You don't need to sell people on the fact that they should create leverage and residual income. You don't need to convince people of anything. You just share the information and sort through them. Ask the question, never worry about the answer. And there's different ways to ask the question. I can tell people, listen, I'm working on a new project in the restaurant delivery space. Do you ever look at ways to make extra cash these days, Bob? And there's only 3 answers that I can get. Yes, I do look to make extra money. No, I don't. Or, maybe it depends. That's kind of the 3 ways you're going to get an answer. And a lot of people will say, well, it depends. And it's like, yeah, of course it depends. The question is, do you look at ways to make extra income? Now, you can ask that same question several different ways. And I tailor that question depending on my audience, right? If I'm talking to a good friend of mine, I say, hey, you ever look at ways to make extra cash? If I'm talking to a business acquaintance that owns several rental properties and commercial properties, I say, hey, I'm working on a new project in the restaurant delivery space. Do you ever look at ways to diversify your income streams? That's the same question, but a little different vernacular, so to speak, just for the audience. So you want to, ask that question, and then we can't control whether the answer is yes or no, or, maybe it depends. We can only control the fact that we ask the question. And I talked about this a bit on the last training that we did with duplication in part 1, but you want to set your goal as really how many times you ask the question. How many times can you ask someone, hey, do you look at ways to make extra income? Hey, do you look at ways to diversify your income streams? And do you keep your options open as far as, generating wealth? There's several ways you can ask that question, but you want to get out and ask it and be professional. Listen, sort, and then move on. Always remember, a no may just mean not now or not yet. Some will, some won't, some wait. So what? Who's next? And that's really how I've built massive organizations. You know, the last organization I built globally, we ended up with about 164 countries represented in an organization I built in 11 months that did $50 million in business in 11 months. And the bottom line is because I didn't care whether someone said yes or no. I just cared that I asked the question, and I asked about 300 people the question within about a week. And a lot said no, but it didn't matter because so many of them said yes. And then they started asking the question. And that's one of the things Bob and I talk about a lot. And he's really, a genius when it comes to creating leverage. And he understood, he's like, we want to create this team of people because that leads to so many more restaurants, so many more drivers. And so when you start to ask that question, you start to get people that jump on board, there's only so much we can do by ourselves. If Bob and I worked alone and tried to sign up restaurants, we could go out and sign up restaurants, no doubt about it. But if we build a team of 10 marketers and they all go out and sign up restaurants, they're going to beat Bob and I. There's not enough hours in a day for us to compete with 10 people. Now, if they go out and recruit 10 more marketers each, now there's 100 marketers out there signing up restaurants. They're going to destroy any one of us that goes out, no matter how good we are at signing up restaurants. And some people on this are better than I'll ever be at signing up restaurants. I mean, there's already people that are knocking down restaurants left and right. And the bottom line is, as great as they are, if they build a team of 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 marketers in their organization signing up restaurants, they'll never be able to compete with that level of duplication and leverage in their organization. And that's the plan. That's what we all want to do, is build that big organization. And to do it, you've got to have the right mindset. Understand, every one of you, when you're brand new, especially into this industry as a business owner, you're going to ride what we call the emotional roller coaster. Some of you are probably riding it right now. You saw the Trip Delivers vision. You saw Bob explain, where the company was heading. They're looking to go public. And I mean, there's the ability, you hear about stock options and things like that. And all of a sudden, you're fired up, you're excited, you're ready to tackle the world. This is your chance. The restaurant delivery industry is booming, multiple billions of dollars. The pandemic is like pouring fuel on the fire. It's getting bigger, faster. It's like rocket fuel. And so you're at the right place at the right time. You're fired up. You invited one of your good friends to get on tonight's training call. You're checking through the chat. You told them to send you a message when they got on, and you haven't seen their message. Now you're sitting there looking for them. You're not really paying attention to the training because, man, you know what? You shouldn't have been dreaming. You just knew this was never going to work. And you're worried that your friend didn't show up and not really paying much attention. Then all of a sudden you get a text message and your friend says, "Hey, I'm watching." Oh yeah, I knew this would work. He's going to be so fired up. So now you're excited again. Your friend's watching, so you're paying attention. Oh, what's this emotional roller coaster? Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm always fired up. And then, this training's going to get finished and you're going to reach out to your friend and he's going to say, "You know what? I saw it, but I'm not really looking to make extra money right now. My job's keeping me busy. I'm, working in the healthcare industry. That, we're pretty essential. So luckily I haven't been laid off." And now, you knew he wouldn't be interested. You just flat out knew it, and he tells you, "I'm just so busy right now." But you know what, Tony, my wife watched the overview with me and she wants to become, a marketer for you guys. She thinks this is a great idea. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I knew your wife would be into it. So you're riding that roller coaster, and you and his wife decide she's got a friend that owns a little pizzeria. Let's go check out, see if we can sign up our first restaurant tomorrow. You set up to go to see the pizzeria owner, and he sits down with you. He watches the full little presentation. You get the one-page documents that we built out. You go through it perfect. You watch trainings that I went through and Bob went through, and you did everything perfectly. And the owner says, "You know what? This looks great, but I just can't see our pizzeria doing delivery. We already do our own in-house delivery, and I don't really want to outsource that." And you're sitting there going, "Man, what a waste of time. I knew I'd never be able to sign up a restaurant." And then that owner of that pizzeria says, "But even though I do my own delivery for the pizzeria, I actually own a high-end Italian restaurant across town, and I've been looking for a delivery service that doesn't charge a massive percentage commission like DoorDash and Uber and Grubhub. And it sounds like Trip is perfect for my high-end Italian restaurant. So why don't we sign you guys on to deliver for my high-end restaurant? Now you're fired up again. And the bottom line is you will go through that over and over and over again until you get the proper mindset. I remember one of my mentors, and I've had a couple mentors that were worth over $1 billion. And I'll just tell you flat out, they know things that my mom and dad didn't teach me about business growing up. My dad was a railroader. My mom was a substitute teacher. There's things that billionaires understand about business, about finance, about taxes, about investments that I didn't learn from my parents. I didn't learn from my teachers. And one of them, he talked about, you hear all the time, you look at that roller coaster and people say, and you guys have probably heard this, avoid life's peaks and valleys, avoid the peaks and valleys. And you want to maintain an even keel. We've all probably heard that. And my billionaire mentor, he said, you know what, Tony? He goes, that's bull. I'm not going to say what he said. He said, that's BS. Avoid life's peaks. Can you avoid life's peaks? So ladies, you're out at your favorite restaurant and you're out in the city and Brad Pitt's filming a video in there and he walks into the restaurant, he looks over and he sees you and he says, you know what, that you look beautiful in that outfit. Do you mind if I join you? What are you going to say? No, Brad, that would be a peak. And I was told to avoid life's peaks, so you're going to have to sit at the bar by yourself. You got to be kidding, but guys, if one of your friends just hit the Powerball and he calls you up and says, hey, Lamborghini or Ferrari, whichever one you want, you tell me, I'll buy it. I'll ship it to you. What would you tell your buddy? Nah, that's a peak. My parents told me avoid the peaks and valleys, and that would be a peak. My mentor said, Tony, you should strive for life's peaks. You should seek out life's peaks. And I understood, why not just maintain an even keel at the top? Just hang out at the top. Understand that as human beings, we can control our thoughts and emotions. Each and every one of us. Now, it's easier said than done, but we can definitely control our thoughts and emotions. And I'll go through trainings over the rest of this year, over 2021, that have impacted me, that were nothing I came up with. People way more successful, way smarter. Their life was completely balanced. They were not only successful financially, but spiritually, emotionally, their relationships, everything was on point with these mentors of mine. And I learned from them. And I strive to get to where they were. But the bottom line is the lessons are the same. And I've been able to maintain that even keel at the top for over a decade now, because I trained myself to do it. And I'll share those secrets and those trainings with each and every one of you as we go through our journey with the Trip Delivers family. Understand this. There's 3 pieces to the business. You've got the company Trip Delivers, you've got the compensation plan, and we've got each and every one of us. And there's, if you remember math class back in the day, you've got your constants and you've got your variables. Constants are something that never changes. It's the same for everyone. The company is a constant. Trip Delivers, you've got hungry customers, restaurants that make food, and drivers that bring the food from the restaurants to the hungry customers. It's not like because I live in Kansas that Trip Delivers is going to say, you know what, Tony, we're not going to deliver seafood for any restaurants in Kansas because you're too far away from any oceans. I know it is weird that we do have some seafood places here, but you know what? They got jets, they fly in seafood. Some of them, every couple of days or whatever. We even got sushi restaurants here in Kansas. So, Trip's not going to say, oh, you know what? Because you're Kansas, we're not going to let you deliver for sushi. No, Trip's say, hey, if there's a restaurant in your town and it's within the radius that they want to deliver, and they can deliver, it doesn't matter. So whether you're in Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York, or Kansas, Trip's got the same company for all of us. The compensation plan is the same for all of us. If you're a marketer that has a PhD, or you're a marketer that has a PhD public high school diploma, then it doesn't matter. You might have a PhD in mathematics or a PhD meaning public high school diploma, and that's all you've got. If you're a marketer, you get paid the same for signing up a restaurant, whether you went to Yale or whether you went to jail. It doesn't really matter. The compensation is exactly the same for all the marketers across the board, all the pro drivers, the side hustle drivers, they're paid like all other side hustle drivers. The pro drivers are paid like all other pro drivers. The marketers are paid like all other marketers. The only variable in this equation is you. So what you want to do is focus on you. Get better. Look at personal growth and development, the books and the education we talked about in our duplication training. And if you're brand new on our YouTube channel, you can go back and look at some of the different trainings that we've done. I recommend going through them. The books we talk about, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read those books because it will help you get better. It will help you recruit more marketers. It will help you sign up more restaurants and onboard more drivers. The better you get, the bigger your organization gets. The bigger your organization gets, the bigger your organization gets. One of my, mentors, he used to talk about, billionaires and their mindsets. And he said, the more money you make, the more money you make. And it's kind of, it sounds simple, but it's true. And the bottom line is, if you get better, you personally become a better person. You personally become a better sales rep. You personally become a better boyfriend or husband or wife or spouse, a better father, a better mother. Your income will grow. It will. You'll attract people into your life that are higher level. If you start to see yourself like a CEO, you start to recruit and build your organization with other CEOs and CFOs and COOs, and you recruit people with more influence, bigger networks. So you always want to work on that one variable, which is us. And I'm constantly seeking out people like Bob to mentor me so I can learn and get better, because he's exited more companies than I've started. And I've started quite a few companies, but he knows how to guide a company through the growth stage, into the initial public offering, into the exit stage. And a lot of people create massive wealth during that exit stage. And so I'm trying to just hold on to Bob's belt loop for dear life and keep up with him. And the bottom line is, I chatted with him the other night, and we talked about what kind of behavior we want to create for the organization to end out 2020 strong and to really start out 2021 with a bang. Because here in a couple weeks, in January 1, a lot of people come midnight, January 1, are going to really want to change the way 2020 went. They're going to want 2021 to be a completely different year than kind of the mess a lot of people ended up in with this pandemic and just this craziness. And so more people than ever, listen, January 1st, everybody pretty much around the world says, I want to get healthier. I want to get wealthier. Those are the number one things that, that they want to do is wealthier and healthier. I want to make more money. I want to get in better shape. And the bottom line is, because of what happened in 2020, it'll be astronomical how many people want to do better financially in 2021. And we have an opportunity to help them. And Bob is really putting a promotion together that I truly believe can not only help you financially, but I mean, this promotion could help your grandkids financially, even if they're not born yet. I mean, this is one of those things where it could set up potential generational wealth if you really wrap your hands around this promotion. And I talk about it, but it's really, Christmas is coming early. And you can see the stock certificate. I know, we've got stock options that are available, and, Bob will sign those stock options. I don't know if Santa Claus will. He signed this one in my little picture here. But starting tonight, any new marketer that you bring into the Trip Delivers family, it will help you earn 500 stock options. And it's not just for your marketers that you refer, it's anyone within all three of your connections. So if you introduce me to Trip Delivers and I become a marketer, 500 stock options. If I introduce my mom and she becomes a marketer, I get 500 stock options. So do you. Because that's your connect two. I'm your connect one. My mom's your connect two. If she introduces my sister becomes a marketer. My mom gets 500 stock option shares. I get 500 shares for my sister, and you get 500 shares because you introduced me, and my sister would be your Connect 3. So you could create some significant stock options, and the volume of options you could earn through yourself and your organization between now and the end of January. This promotion is going to run until the end of January. The amount of stock options some of these people are going to earn, I can't even fathom what some of the people. I've already brought a couple people to the table, and I know they're literally kind of foaming at the mouth at how many stock options they're going to get. And I want to kind of pass this over to Bob to kind of share a little bit of his vision. You can't make any guarantees or anything like that in the investment world, but Bob has exited several times, and we're talking in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And he truly believes this will be the biggest play that he's ever put together, which we're talking billions when you go into those numbers. And what stock options could be worth, you don't have to be a mathematician to know when a company like DoorDash opens at $180 a share. We don't even have to be near that big, and we could do some pretty good damage. And if I had 500 shares of anything at $10 a share, it's $5,000. At $100 a share, it's $50,000. And if I've got 5,000 shares at $10, $50,000. If it's $100, $500,000. And the bottom line is there's going to be people that end up with tens of thousands of shares from this promotion. So, Bob, I'd love it for you to kind of just share your vision on where you see Trip as far as in your history of exits and what you've done in the past, and why you're excited about this industry and the Trip Delivers family.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Tony, you're getting some good remarks up here from the folks.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Once again, doing a great job. So everybody kind of understands my mentality. I'm a blue collar guy. That's how I started my life. My dad, our family, they just worked. And through my career, I've been able to hand out stock in companies that I've personally started. So I always want to reward people in the company, and then throughout the company, we always rewarded people in stock options. And, a lot of people did really, really well with us. I'm just a big believer. If you work in the company and you're producing for the company, then you should be able to share in those rewards, because it's not just Bob or Tony or people at the top of this company that are, yes, we're making decisions, but a lot of the heavy lifting is being done in the field. And the field doesn't get recognized. Let me give you an example. So DoorDash comes out at $102. They close the first day at $182 a share. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do that because they've been around a long time. So, but the fact is, a lot of people made a lot of money, but I'll bet you there weren't very many drivers. There weren't very many marketers. There weren't very many people that are out in the field building the business that had stock options that were able to make them and put them in a different position. Most of you here, your average age is a lot younger than mine. So you still have kids to get through college. You still have kids to go to school, whatever it might be. This can be a help to help you do that you have a little more security in your pocket. That's the reason why I do it. I learned a long time ago, if you share things, it'll come back to you. So to me, to share and do this, and I get criticized, by the way, from a lot of people that are on the financial side, not in our company, but outside. Why do you want to do that? Why do you do that? You're diluting, no, you're not diluting, you're building.
Yep.
See, people don't understand the mentality. If we reward you for your hard work, that means you're going to probably more than likely work harder, which means you're going to produce more, which is great. That's what we want. But also, we're giving you a lot more. The program that Tony just outlined was Tony's program. I just came up with the number of options, but Tony designed it, so because he knows that space. So it's really important for us as a company to share this along the way and give people an opportunity to build wealth. And this is the way you do it. You can work for a living all day long. You can go to work every day. You can do all those kinds of things, but you can't accumulate real wealth until you have an opportunity to have some piece of the rock, a bite of that business. And that's what I want to give everybody a shot to do it. So, but it makes me feel good at Christmas time also to do this stuff. Let me give you guys a few things. And I don't want to, let's see, what time is it here? Yeah, we've been on for 30 minutes because I don't want to hang everybody up. It's right close to the holidays. You can see my beanie. Put that on tonight. So let me go through a couple things. One of the things that Tony mentioned, which is really, really a smart bit of advice that he gave you guys, and it's the roller coaster ride, okay? Everybody on this call, including me, has been on that roller coaster. Nobody has a license not to be on there. We've all been there. What he's saying, try to stay at the top side of that chart, and that takes experience to do that. It takes a lot of bumps, and by the way, it takes you sliding down the hill so you learn how to stay up there. So if you're sliding down that hill, you're going down and you're hitting the kind of the bottom. Don't look at that and say, oh my God, I'm never going to recover. I got all these issues and blah, blah. You got to be strong within yourself. Talk to yourself, get yourself together. Look at that as a learning curve. That's all that slide is. It's a learning curve as you're going down, and on your way back up, you keep saying, I'm never doing that again. Now, some of us have made that mistake a few times. So don't think like, if you make another mistake, it's all over. It's not. So these are words of encouragement, that we want to pass on to you guys because, a lot of you are new in the space. A lot of you haven't really experienced ups and downs in business. You might have experienced with your life and things like that. So just be careful how you see things. Work with smart people. If you can find smart people to work with them. Be humble at all times. You're not the smartest guy in the room, neither am I. We have a lot of life experiences. We try to bring those to the party. Let me get into some of the good stuff we're working on that Tony was able to close out tonight. We've been working on a program. I mentioned a little bit about it, I think, on the Saturday call. So we have a company that has about 20,000 restaurants in their world. And 20,000 restaurants in anybody's world is a lot of restaurants, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So and thanks to, and I want to give a big shout out to George Graham, because George, now think about this, you're all on this call. George Graham brought this deal to us as an outsider from the inside. So everybody said, oh, corporate's going to do these deals. Well, we are. But, George brings us a huge corporate deal, and he's going to just be, I was on the phone with him the other day, and he was kidding me, and I won't say what he was saying, but I said, dude, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. That's one thing I learned in business. But he's done a phenomenal job keeping us on track on this deal. And so we signed off tonight on all the component pieces that we have to perform at to get the business from this company. So we're going to open Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. I think I mentioned that the other day. So when I say we're going to open because Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach has about 1,000 restaurants in that area with them. And Orlando has a little bit less from the standpoint, but it's a jump off for us. So we're going to get started in Orlando. So we've got to fire up all the drivers. We have 28,000 drivers in the whole Florida market. So we're going to run through Florida. And then this part of this is also Atlanta. So some of the guys and gals that work in Atlanta signing up restaurants right now. So we're going to go through a short test phase in Orlando. Once we make sure everything's settled, then we'll crank on all those other 4 markets right away and get them up and running. The conversation we had today with the principals of the company was they said that their people are going to take this away from us from the standpoint of volume and markets, and you want to know how many markets we can go to. And obviously I'm very optimistic we can go to any market you want to go to. So we're going to get a list of what their markets are so we can start really doing a lot more planning on how we're going to address this. But this is huge for the company. It's the next big thing that happened to us. Leonard came on board, Leonard Wright, he came on board, fired the company up, got the ghost warehouses in Canada. So we're opening there right after the first year. We're going to be up there getting all set up. And then also in the US market. So he's done a great deal to propel our company. And now George has done a great deal to propel our company. My question is, who's next? Who's going to help propel this company to the next level? I mean, you talk about a little bitty small company You know, it's like the little choo-choo train, man. You know, we're just getting a little head of steam. That's my dog. Oh, yeah, somebody's at my door. Anyway, so we're getting ahead of steam. We're going, and it's going to take some chugging to go, but we'll eventually get going. This is no different than any other startup. You always have to crawl, walk, run. There's the naysayers, the people say you can't do it, won't do it, never do it. What I say to them is, I'll see you later. You know, get those people out of your life because they're going nowhere. So these are big gets for us. So I want to compliment once again, George Graham. I want to compliment William. Mathis has been doing a phenomenal job down in Miami, signed up 5 stores. I don't even have, restaurants. I don't even know. I think he's signed up way more than that in the last week or so. Leonard just wrote me 60 locations in Walmart US with ghost kitchens will be occupied by, 60 locations by January 15th, nice. 2021. That's nuts. So we got a lot of good things going because everybody's been working very hard. One of the things I want to bring up also, we have a lot of tools in the back office that have been created by Tony and other people in the company. We have the videos. Use these as tools. They're good for you. They're good for you. I don't know if you guys know, we post videos quite often. We had Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville reach out to us at midnight 3 or 4 days ago. They ordered a whole bunch of food and they wanted a bunch of food, but nobody would take it out to the hospital for some reason. None of the other delivery services. I guess the nurse there who bought the food saw us on either online or she did a search. We came up. She went on and downloaded our app all by herself. Nobody helped her. She ordered the food all by herself. Nobody helped her. And then she placed the order. And literally within probably 40 minutes or so, she had her order at the hospital. And I think one of the either Scott or one of the other guys brought it, to who was it? Oh, it was Rodney Bush. So he got out of bed and then took the ride over there.
Tell them about turning their app.
Yeah. So again, I'm getting instructions from Amy, the boss. But anyway, so it's really good. It worked out perfect. We then, a couple days later, sent the hospital 3 big pizzas for the same group of people as a thank you, because those are the things we want to do. We want to ingrain ourselves in the community. And those are the things that, Tony did really well when he was building his company to 300 markets. He understands the human touch of people and how to engage them and keep them ongoing. There's a lot of numbers and stats. I read some to you on Saturday, the repeat business is used. That's why we're in the residual income business.
Yep.
Because it secures you a place when 85% of the people that are buying restaurant food are continuing to buy it, week after week after week after week. And that's what they do. And they probably buy the same stuff every week after week after week. So, so I just want to let everybody know that's where the company is. We're just getting ready to roll. So I think it behooves all of you to, if you're on board with the company, to really start building. Start talking to your people, get engaged, and don't let the people, the naysayers, say it's not working, because it is working. We get these 6 or 7 markets up flying, and then you're going to see what's really going to happen. You guys have no idea what this thing's going to look like by the end of the first quarter. We're going to be on fire, and we're going to, have so many good things going on. You got to remember, we're the low-cost provider in the space. We just took this company that we're doing business with is a Fortune 500 company, and we're a little bitty company, but they like our business model. We're flexible enough to adapt to what their needs were or are, and those are important tools. And we're in the game. We're in the game. We've got the football in our hand, whatever you want to say, the tennis racket, the pickleball, whatever it is, we got it all. So with that, I just want to thank everybody, and I want everybody to have a great holidays and a great Christmas. We're a couple days away from Christmas. Let me see if there's a couple things on here that glad we practice when we preach, from driver to corporate team. Let's get the big boys. You got your, let's get the big boys. We'll get them one step at a time. Yeah, there's not too many. Oh, please, we need a replicated site. We know that. Tony's working on the last bit of stuff that's got to go up, which is the Verb marketing site. We're working on that and exactly what's going into that. That has a replicated site. It's got all kinds of tools. We know what needs to get done, and I don't mind you reminding me, but I just want you to know we're going to have a replicated site.
Yep.
There's no real major questions. So
I have a reminder.
oh, Amy has a reminder.
Drivers in Nashville,
Yeah.
make sure you turn off your app.
Oh yeah. The drivers in Nashville, if you're not working, and I know a lot of you guys probably sleep with your phone on, but make sure you turn your app off, because if it's on, you're going to get pinged and for a pickup. So if you can turn them off when you're not working,
Or when you go to Florida on vacation.
or when you go to Florida, like one guy was down in Florida, and he's getting pinged in Florida for Nashville. So, but that'll all work out, over time as people just get engaged. It's kind of the fundamentals of business.
And one other thing,
Okay.
the free restaurants.
Oh, this is critical. So I know a lot of you guys, gals out there want to help by signing up free restaurants. All that does, when it's free, it doesn't engage anybody, and it just slows our business down, because we can't do anything when you sign up for free. We have to run back, and our procedures are pretty set the way we want to do them for speed. When you have a freebie in there, and there's a lot of them, it hurts our business. So do not sign anybody up for free. Just charge them the $1. Just follow the plan. The $1 sets them up, turns on their back office. It's the trigger point for everything. So you got to turn on that $1, and then the rest of it's really simple. But don't put any more free people in, because it cobs up the whole wheel of what goes on. The white glove team, do I call them? Do I not call them? We're not the closer of the restaurants, okay? That's not our job, is to close the restaurants. It's the field's job to close the restaurant. Now, the deal we made for these multiple markets, it's our job to close them, because it's not George brought it to us. He gets 100% taken care of, but it's our job to close them, because it's a corporate deal, and it's got to be structured properly. There's so many other things that play into it. So in the future, please do not do any free signups, because it just cobs the wheel up. We're at $1, it's ridiculous, and we don't even charge anybody until they're actually 30 days after driving. So they're driving and making commissions, and you don't have to pay us a dime for 30 days. So, and there's nobody doing that in a SaaS business model. We're trying to help you make money. Our first, most important thing is that you guys make more money than any other delivery company around. We want you to put more money in your pocket, which means you can do more for yourself. You can do more for your family. There's so many reasons that we're doing that, because again, it's all the blue collar guys out here busting their hump every day, and I want to make sure that you're compensated as much as we can compensate. So let me see. Trip has a powerful CEO, has a heart for. Oh, well, thank you, man. Appreciate that, Ferguson. Lloyd, Eris, any information about tabs from customers already own one? Are you talking about tablets, Eris? Oh, and George Graham is on. Good to see you, George. He said, I'm just getting started. And man, what a start. Hits a home run first time at the plate. Crushed it. Tony, you got anything you want to add? Or
Hey, we honestly, setting up 2021 starts now. A lot of people in business, they take a break this time of year, and there's nothing wrong with spending time with your family, but we've got a window here. The industry is primed. It's time to go on the attack. I've seen a lot of you guys posting that let's go after the big boys. The big boys are going to take a break here. Christmas is one day, you celebrate Christmas for one day, but I'll go right back to work after Christmas Day, because I understand that the seeds that we plant now, the foundation that we build now in 2020 will launch us through all of 2021. And so the people that put their head down for the next week or so are really going to come out of the gates in 2021 firing. They're going to have way more stock options, because the bottom line is, if you go out and you wait until January 1st to start recruiting, and it doesn't matter whether you're a driver, a customer, a side hustle pro driver, you can go out and recruit marketers. You can. You know, everybody's important in the cog of the wheel. The marketers are going to be the ones that go out and sign up restaurants, sign up drivers. I mean, that's their whole goal, is to go out, sign up restaurants, sign up drivers. So we want to focus for the next few weeks on getting as many marketers in the system as possible. And you're going to get rewarded in stock options. And, you know, I could see people creating hundreds of thousands of dollars in options, and potentially millions of dollars in options over the next few weeks. That's doable. People are going to go out and do that. And so if you go out by yourself on January 1st, you'll probably be able to recruit a ton of people that are setting their New Year's resolutions, and they're looking to make more money, and they'll want to become a marketer, and you'll get stock options. That's one way to do it. But if you and 10 of your team members that are on your Connect One go out on January 1st, that's how you create hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of options. Not doing it on your own, but doing it with you and your team. So what I would recommend for each and every one of us that's on this training webinar this evening is, don't take the next 2 weeks off. Let's go to work and set the foundation for 2021.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. That's the thing you guys have to understand, why we devised the marketer program, because we know marketers will lead. They'll get out in front. You'll build teams. Tony and I talked about, we'd like to see 1,000 marketers onboarded between now and January 30th or 31st, whatever the date is. Because I think it's there. But can you imagine if we had 1,000 of you hustling, working hard, driving these markets, bringing on drivers, bringing on consumers? You know, it's a massive job, but 1,000 people like yourself could do it very easily. You talk about taking massive action. This is massive action. So anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off. Tony's going to sign off. Been a crazy year. We'll be back online. I think we're going to take a couple days off. I don't think we're going to do coffee on Saturday this week, but we'll be back online next week. So maybe we'll do a midweek call or something like that, check in with everybody. And but I'll let you guys know. But everybody have a great holiday, great Christmas. Take care of your families. The most important thing you'll ever have in your life is your